All right, our last guest today on the big program is a band that I've enjoyed for many, many years, and we're being invaded, Joe. Did you know that today?
I did.
Yeah, we're being invaded by the whole Bolivian army.
And a great name.
It's an awesome name.
You got to get the story behind it.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. But I used to, when I lived in Seattle, would go see them. They were a Seattle band, like Sit and Spin and all the cool joints around there. And they've since relocated. Now they're a South End band, Tacoma band. We love that. And let's go around and introduce everybody. We have Matt Kite.
Hello.
And Mary Beth Kite.
Hi.
And Greg Strickland.
Hello.
And Matt Bleckert.
How you doing?
All right. We got them all in here. That's awesome. So now that's a good place to start. Tell us about the name, the whole Bolivian Army.
Dang it. She points to me. Our first bass player, Steve Miller. The Steve Miller. we like to call him the Steve Miller.
The Steve Miller, yeah. Abracadabra.
Yeah. He came up with the name. We had a huge, long page of names, but it's a reference to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
That's right.
At the end of the movie, when they're in that little shack surrounded by the
whole Bolivian army. Yeah. That's right. That's awesome.
And there's been a few references. Was it Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah, in fact, I think that's what inspired him, because he was watching Beverly Hills Cop and remember that, and I think Judge Reinhold was explaining. Remember that sign?
Well, they know they're going down.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
Well, now I made reference to it also that you guys started out really as a Seattle band in like about the 90s. Was it the early 90s that you started?
Yeah,
93. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that. The Seattle scene was crazy at that time.
It was.
There were lots of different places that bands could play that were very cool, and then they're all gone. Yeah, it's
very sad.
It's very sad. And then the music itself was going off in like 10 different directions.
Oh yeah.
You had the grunge was taken off, was crazy, and then you had sort of the quirky, kind of like the Presidents, and then you had almost a folky type scene that was almost kind of coming underneath. And so, how did you guys get together and decide let's be a part of this?
The great trepidation.
Yeah. It just started with me and Steve in the basement of my mom's house in a rolling drum machine, just jamming. And then I met Mary Beth and found out she could sing, and I said, you should try out with us, and slowly built up the band. And when we started, it was kind of the tail end of grunge, and we totally did not fit in, because we were at the time writing really quirky, silly songs with names like Yeast Infection Haiku and stuff like that. And so we'd get up there and just play we'd be sandwiched between really heavy
hard bands,
great bands, but totally not a fit with us, at the off ramp or wherever. And then we get up there, la la la, and people just were like, who are these people?
Yeah, but
generally, whenever we went into a place, there were very few women, and I was always assumed to be a groupie.
Yeah.
Always.
Then you'd step
pretty much,
up on
which
stage.
actually just fuels my fire, because then I'm like, well, I'll just get on stage and show them I'm not a groupie. And
but once people caught on, they really responded. I know you guys got
we had some nice
good reviews in like the Seattle
late
Weekly
90s,
and also in like the Stranger and stuff. Once they caught on, it's infectious. The grooves are infectious, and like you said, the quirky songs, lots of fun. But now you two are married.
Yeah.
And was that as a result of, hey, we need a singer?
Yeah, the band was first. The band came first.
Yeah, the band was first, and then at some point I took Steve aside and I said, dude, would you mind if I asked Mary Beth out? Because I didn't want to mess up the band. And he was like, I was thinking of doing that myself.
Let's flip a coin.
Yeah, and he's like, you go.
Nice.
So, anyway.
This is the story.
Yeah. And so,
Turns out, I wasn't Steve's type, really. So it worked out okay.
And so through that time in the 90s when you were playing all over Seattle, did you guys play a bumper shoot too, didn't you? Or?
We never did.
Never did play a bumper shoot?
We got rejected so many times that I used to send, that you have to send in a promo kit with your application every year, and I do this like check sheet, number of years together, albums released, whatever, and then bumper shoot rejection 6 or whatever. And so,
we got
+1.
Yeah, exactly. We just never. I think we played too much in Seattle because they liked. you either had to be a signed big band that was breaking nationally, or kind of someone that they could discover. But we were way too not discovered.
Yeah, because at the same time we were doing the Fremont Festival and
all the
Bite
little,
of Seattle.
We were doing
okay, well that's where I saw you. Then was the Bite of Seattle.
Yeah, the Mural Amphitheater. Yeah. So we got to play cool stuff. Big stages outside, but never bumper show.
Very good. Well, your most recent CD, which was put out in 2008, is titled "Morning After Food Poisoning in the South of France." Let's listen to a cut off of that. This is Butterfly Kiss.
Happens here. Just great. If wisteria's deadwood in winter, or blue manna in May, the sky looks just the same. The sky looks just the same.
So the name of the song is Butterfly Kiss, and that is off of the CD Morning After Poisoning in the South of France.
I wanted to ask you, being in the music business can kind of be a balancing act in a lot of ways. But as parents with kids, how does that affect you being in the music business? And also, how are your kids involved in what you do?
That's a good question.
Gibson, maybe you should answer that.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
It affected a lot. I mean, actually, initially it didn't. We were still in Seattle. I think Matt was pretty panicked about it. I think he thought once Gibson came out that we were never getting on stage again. So by the time Gibson was about 2 months old, we were back rehearsing, and we played out when he was about 3.5 months old. We traveled over to Wenatchee for the Apple Blossom Festival, and he's like, "Okay, I got her on stage. We got some shows lined up. We're okay," because I think he thought that. Yeah, I really think he thought. And we chose to stop at 1, and I think that helps because it keeps you more mobile, I think. And it keeps it more simple.
How far did he push you? How many weeks pregnant were you?
We played, the last show we played, I was 36 weeks pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was an acoustic show because I couldn't really access my diaphragm anymore. But the last full-on show we played, I was about 34 weeks pregnant.
Did they have to use a boom mic?
Yeah.
Because you couldn't stand next to the stands bumping?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, the funny thing used to happen when we used to sing, when we'd get really loud and I would have to be belting, which I do occasionally in a song. Gibson, who I didn't know was a Gibson at the time, used to push way down, and I'd just be like holding my legs together, trying not to run to the bathroom. I'm like, just get through one more set, just one more.
He wanted
the
to
last
dance.
one, I promise. Yeah. Well, as it turns out, he has a real sense of rhythm. Gibson is a drummer, so.
Oh yeah.
And Matt used to say to my belly when I was pregnant, "Be a drummer. We've never had a reliable drummer." And it turns out Gibson was kind of a natural. We didn't throw it in his face or anything, but he used to get the pots and pans out like kids do, and I used to say, "This is
got rhythm."
And it was more than that. You knew he was taking it seriously when he would stop. And he'd switch all the pots and pans around and adjust everything, pick up a couple of different kinds of things to hit with, and he would do this literally for hours a day.
Is he doing Rock Band drummer now or anything?
No, he has. He actually just got a brand new kit for Christmas. He got his first
full
size kit. Yeah, so he had his little junior kit for which he got when he was 4.
No, you guys, your band, you have been through quite a bit of personnel since your inception.
Yeah.
And Greg, you came in, I'm reading the website, in 2007?
Yeah, I actually met these guys, I think it was 98 or 99. I shared a bill with another band I was in, and I was watching them, and I thought, hey, these guys are good, and just followed them ever since. And I had a coffee house in Moses. I lived in Moses Lake when they were in Port Townsend, and they were doing the acoustic thing, and I invited them out to play a gig, and we just kind of got close then, and I think we shared emails, and I moved back to Seattle, and they did, and said, hey, if you're putting the live thing back together, if you're getting out of the acoustic, let me know. And then we got together, it was about 2007.
And so you've been with them ever since.
Yeah.
Three years.
Only 3 years. It's been a long
Yeah, you
ride.
guys are